Hey everyone, it's your local emergency manager, and today is the feast day of St. Giles. So, Giles was born in Athens, Greece, to a noble family in about the year 650. His piety and learning made him attract so much attention and admiration that he dreaded the praise and longed for the hidden life. So he left his home and sailed for France. At first, he lived in the wilderness near the mouth of the Rhone River, later moving toward the river Gard, and finally to the Diocese of Nimes. He spent many years in solitude, conversing with only God. The fame of his miracles became so great that his reputation spread through France, and he became highly respected by the French king. Giles was a hermit and a monk that lived mainly in Lower Rhone. The town that bears his name formed around the monastery that he founded, which became a pilgrimage center and a stop on the way of St. James. There are two main stories written about St. Giles. The first story says that St. Giles withdrew deep into the forest near Nimes, where he spent many years in solitude, and his sole companion was a red deer during this time, who, in some stories, sustained him with her milk. During this time, Giles ate a Christian vegetarian diet. His location was ultimately discovered by the king's hunters, and an arrow that was shot at the deer ended up wounding Giles instead. This is how he became the patron saint of the physically disabled. During this time, the king was a man named Wamba, and he had a lot of respect for Giles because of his humility and his rejection of honors. Wamba built Giles a monastery in his valley called St. Giles du Gard, which Giles placed under Benedictine rule. There are two papal bulls claiming to have issued by Pope John VIII in 878. They say that King Wamba founded a monastery for St. Giles, and Pope Benedict II granted a charter to this foundation between the years 684 and 685. In reality, the monastery was probably built around this time, but it wasn't dedicated to St. Giles until about the year 910. The tomb of Giles dates to the correct historical period, but the inscription dates to the 10th century. The second story that's written about St. Giles is this. Giles was celebrating Mass to pardon St. Charlemagne's sins. During this Mass, an angel descended upon the altar, and the angel left behind a letter outlining a sin that Charlemagne committed that was so terrible that Charlemagne didn't confess it during his confession. This sin is known as the quote-unquote sin of Charlemagne. St. Giles died in about the year 724. St. Giles's followers spread rapidly throughout Europe in the Middle Ages. There are churches and monasteries that are dedicated to him in France, Spain, Germany, Poland, Hungary, Slovakia, and Great Britain. St. Giles is one of the 14 holy helpers, and his feast day is September the 1st. He's the patron saint of the physically disabled, beggars, blacksmiths, breastfeeding mothers, and a good confession. He is the patron against the plague, epilepsy, mental illness, and nightmares. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked the video. Let me know if you like this new camera angle. I'm not too sure about it. But thank you so much for watching.